Hey Zwifters, welcome back to No Breakaways, your source for all Zwift racing tips and tricks. Today we're here with Laura Matsen Co., one of the top ranked Zwifters and member of Team USA for the first ever UCI eSports Cycling World Championships. Hey Laura, thanks for joining me today.
So happy to be here, Rick. Thank you. I'm so lucky. I came from this incredible family, and I really grew up on the back of a tandem. I was the youngest of three kids, and my parents would take us around. And I remember the day that my dad picked me up from gymnastics on the back of a tandem, and it started there. And we did a lot of bike camping before bike camping was a cool thing, and before it became lightweight. And so my dad was a beast. He'd put, one of those big old tents in the back of the tandem with me and sleeping bags and front pannier and back pannier. And we'd pack up and take the ferry out to some of the islands here in the Pacific Northwest and spend a week or two out there. And then from there, my parents got even more adventurous and started taking us on bike tours in France, which were far from the nice guided backcountry or back roads trips that they have these days. But my mom would get a map of France out and put it on our dining room table and have a book of what's called chambre d'hôtes, which is basically bed and breakfasts or a room in the host's house. And so she would find a chambre d'hôte table d'hôte, which meant that you could have dinner with the family as well. And she would just kind of draw like, okay, Laura, you're going to be 14 years old. Do you think you can bike 60 miles? So they would like load us up, and we went out to France and would spend a month there most summers, and really got into cycling that way. So that was kind of the early my family doing it. I definitely didn't love every single one of those miles. Being the youngest of three is so hard. Like it always feels so long, and you get a little bit bored. And I actually did like fall asleep and fell off the bike at least a few times, but it was okay. And then just got into some triathlons from there. And then in college, we started a bike team, and it was one of those Cinderella stories where we won nationals the year we started it, and it was so fun. We just had this great team, super strong people. And then some more triathlons, Ironmans, a lot of running, and then eventually, like everybody's story out there, became an injured runner and turned to the
Yeah,
bike and just realized that cycling is so fun. And it was just so thrilling to get through 4 months and be like, I'm not injured and I'm biking as much as I possibly want. And that was so thrilling.
yeah,
So a
yeah.
lot of support from family, and then just kind of integration from there. So about a year ago, I started doing cyclocross, and I had a wonderful coach. And kind of as COVID hit, I evolved from wanting to bike outside alone, because that was really the only thing I was comfortable with doing, to kind of finding an indoor community. And actually, my cyclocross coach hooked me up with a team that's based out of Colorado named Evoke. And it's been absolutely amazing. We've become an international team. And they are just, I mean, they've been my family through COVID. We chat every Sunday on video and we text all the time. And those women and men have just been my family. So it's been so fun. So that was kind of how I got involved with the team. And at first she was like, we're kind of hoping that you're going to race 1 to 2 times a week. And I was like, gosh, that's a lot. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it. And then I rapidly became like classic Swifter. Like, we're going to race every single day. And then like gradually your performance and your watts are like, wow, I'm doing worse and worse and worse, but you can't really let go, because like there's another race the next day. And I actually kind of beat myself into a corner by the end of the summer, and I started looking around for coaches, and I actually got hooked up. Evoke Bike is a coaching business put on by a couple of the people on the team. So I hired one of the coaches on the team, who's now actually the Discord Sportif or Director Sportif for Worlds, Patrick Wally, French horn player. And he became my coach about 3 months ago, and it's been the best thing in the world. Like, he's been super supportive and really intelligent, and just kind of knows where to push me and where to support me, and it's been so fun. So it's
That's wonderful.
been good.
So, you went from basically March, you started virtual bike riding and racing to making the
Yeah.
world's team, what, 6, 8 months later?
Yeah, I mean, that's from the support of my team. I learned Brian Hodges is on the men's team. He taught me a lot about Zwift racing, and then just learning tactics from the people on the team, and a lot of luck and a lot of support.
That's so cool.
So much of this is amazingly last minute. I'm someone who likes to plan my life out a year in advance, and so it's always a little bit hard for me. So like 9 or something days, I can't remember exactly what Ryan said. I think it's about right though. Like less than 2 weeks before, they're like, we're gonna have US trials on this new platform called RGT, which nobody had been on. And so, it's like, how do you draft? How do you corner? Like, what's this going to be like? No, you can't even find the course. Like, usually I like to watch videos. Like, there was just nothing. And so we did as best of a prep as we could in that week, and went out, and there were some really strong women, and I was lucky enough to try to hang with Godby and Krista for as long as I could. And they actually dropped me, I think, on the second or last lap that I was able to come in. But I mean, it was super fun, super thrilling, and also so hard.
You're an orthopedic surgeon. You have 2 kids, is that right?
Yeah, 3 and 4.
Wow. So like how do you balance everything? I mean, a lot of us kind of turn to indoor cycling because of, other commitments and stuff like that. So how do you balance all that with being a world-class athlete?
That's a generous statement. Um, I think that it's 100% that I have amazing support. So I have an incredible husband who's really supportive of me and helps in the mornings when I want to train. And then also an awesome nanny who helps with the kids and some food prep. And we have both sets of grandparents in town. And so I'm able to ride. Like sometimes my husband and I ride at the same time because the grandparents will come over at the same time. So like the majority of the answer is that I have incredible support from my parents, his parents, our nanny, my husband. Like it's just a lot of support. I have great team at work who can support me as well. But then it also comes down to those details. So just like I said, I like to plan. So I mean, I make my like 2 breakfasts and a lunch every night, and so that I can get up and within 10 minutes be on my trainer and of having had my coffee. Like I have instant coffee in the microwave. I just press the button, log into Zwift, like slam it down and get going, and then run upstairs and like reheat my oatmeal and yogurt and like get in the car. So I think time management is a lot of it. And just being like giving yourself grace. So if you are sick, listen to your body. If you're tired, listen to your body, and realizing that, we are humans and we are not pros that can take naps during the day. And if you aren't training as much as some of the people you see around you, just to be okay with that, because, we have a lot going on in our life. So,
Yeah.
which
That's
ultimately makes it more fun. I like being able to help people. I love my surgery, but it's also sometimes hard. And it's like, gosh, they're just performing again and again, and they're able to make these weekday races. And why can't I do that? But it's because we're doing lots of things. Yeah, great question. Well, I mean, after self training for a number of months, it's so nice to have Wally, because you kind of, Patrick Wally, my coach, you can just put your trust in someone, So like I had a Zoom with him and I sat him down, and, I think we like looked at the course, and I said, I think this climb is this long and this climb's that climb. He's like, yeah, that's right. And we kind of talked about it and kind of what I could work on. And I think, 1 to 2 minute power was a lot of it, just being able to get up and over some of those climbs. And I can't even really summarize it, because I honestly, it was so nice when I just kind of handed it over to him and I just log into Zwift and I click my workout of the day and just execute. But he's been doing me, yeah, some over under threshold stuff was today. Definitely understanding the course and checking the course out. I loved hearing how Ryan was just doing like repeats, going all out of the climbs. That's brilliant. I haven't done that. But I think there's a lot of, a lot of good ways to train. And what I've seen with Wally is both my power output, but also my recovery has improved really quickly. So I've noticed that on the men's races I've been doing, they'll have a hard effort, but then my heart rate will recover a lot faster than it did before I worked with him, which I think is all part of general fitness, but it's just really cool to see it happen. Yeah, great question. It's hard because, again, all of this is so last minute. But getting Wally as our DS has been amazing, and he's really been pulling it together. And this weekend, I think we're going to try to race together on Saturday, and kind of practice some things. And we've had a couple Zoom meetings, and it's just been nice to get to know some of these, I mean, amazing human beings that, you watch from afar and you race them, and then get to see them in real life is really an honor. The U.S. women's team is extremely strong. I think we have some people who are, really, really amazing climbers, and some people who are really amazing sprinters. Honestly, I think we're 8 of us. I can see any of the 8 of them pulling off a win. Like there's just some really, really strong people, some people who are more experienced in both mixed, like Lauren Stevens, meaning inside and outside, as well as Krista. And then, Kristen Kolchinsky is a little bit more of an indoor specialist. But so many strong women. I think that our plan is to mostly just try to keep as many people in this front pack as much as possible, communicate lots, and just see what happens. There's so many discussions on how this race could go. I think that nobody knows, it's probably gonna be hard off the line, but then are people going to start going like 10K from the finish, or 2K or just to the final, what's it going to really end up bringing? And I think it's no way to know exactly how things are going to play out. And I think hopefully in future years we can maybe know the team a little bit better earlier, and so that we can practice racing together and communicating. But this is the first year and we're doing a great job, and I think that we'll hopefully try it out this weekend and then just see what happens on Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah. So do you think most likely it's going to come down to that final Philly KOM climb?
Yeah, I think probably a reduced bunch sprint. But it's amazing because there's these ridiculously strong outdoor riders in the race. I'm not going to Van der Breggen, Van Vleuten, these people who are world class champs or world champs literally. And they could time trial away and just probably hold 6-7 watts per kilo for the whole hour. So I don't know. But I think there's a lot of ways it could play out. But I'm pretty optimistic. I mean, these American women are strong and they're smart and they're experienced, and just pretty fierce people. So optimistic that hopefully one of us can get up there to the podium. Gosh. This course suit me, so I think it's nice. Early on, it was going to be a volcano finish, which was going to be straight up, which the lightest person was going to probably win. The nice thing about this is it has a lot of rollers, so it's a little bit heavier for some of the Zwift racers. A lot of these women's are like 48 to 50 kilos, and I'm more at 63, 64. And so, having the rollers that kind of are up and down, or people just can't, like the lightweight featherweight woman can't just bike away from me. So that's good. And then I think, it's a little bit of a pipe dream, but if I was going to win, I think that being able to stay with people going up that initial steep part of the climb, and then I think I have a very good sprint. So that would be fun.
Yeah, awesome. So are there any sponsors, any people you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to my mom and dad and my husband and my kids. Yeah, I think again the whole Evoke team, and then I brought this down because I'd seen you ask this before, but this is something I don't think we're quite sponsored by it yet, but Lactigo is really, really cool. It's this new topical transdermal delivery system. It's a similar application period as the Amp Human, but a bunch of the people on our team have been using it. Again, we're not sponsored by them yet, but it's been really helpful for recovery. So
Cool.
Put it on before training, put it on after showers, and it's been great.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot for taking the time, Laura. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Rick.
All right. All right, Zwifters, that's the show for today. Huge thank you to Laura for taking the time to come on the show and share with us how Preps for World has been going. If you enjoyed the show, please click like and subscribe below. We'll see you next time.